Dr. Chakrabati, thank you so much and giving us the time and the opportunity to speak with us today. First of all, I want to congratulate you on a successful year of your presidency for AAPI. And how does it feel today?
Well, it feels great that we achieved a lot this year. Um, and it also feels a little bit of, kind of sadness that it's going to end in a couple of weeks, maybe 10 days. And then, um, you know, this API, which I've been associated with 25 plus years, all the way as a foot soldier, starting from the bottom and coming this way up. Um, it's coming to an end. So there's a mixed feeling.
Sir, before we proceed on the interview, I would be just giving the few topics which we will discuss today, such as empowering young medical professionals, embracing innovation, your motto of unifying the AAPI community. So, shall we just go ahead with the first thing? When you had acquired the presidency, as a president, on the 43rd annual convention in Cincinnati, you had a vision, one future, one API. How has that progressed under your leadership today?
Thank you, sir, very much for asking. So what has happened is that we are physicians from different parts of the country in India.
Correct.
So we obviously we like to mix with our own people from our own college, people from our own medical schools, people from our own state. But when we come over here, we need to drop that thing completely, and all of us are one. We are now American physicians of Indian origin in America. So sometimes it does not happen. And when I came in, there was a little bit of well, it's always been there. As it happens, it's always been there. But it had come to a head recently. And my main goal when I came into this is because to make IP a unified force again. Though there were some developing some cracks in the system, and I'm going to phrase it very carefully. There are two major groups or members from two major parts of the country, and
Mhm.
there's always been a tussle between who is going to be the president, who is going to be the leaders. Fortunately for me, I'm in neither of those groups or those ethnic factions, and so I actually have a reach on both sides, and that's the reason I could actually make this happen. That people, both sides, I have friends on both sides of the aisle, so to speak, so I could make them come to the center. And we started something called IP Harmonization Forum, where I got senior presidents, five senior presidents from all over the country, belonging to all of the parts of India, joined together, propose ways to make this a unified API. And we have made a lot of progress. Right now, we are framing an MOU through our attorney so that we can make sure that everybody is on the same page and they understand that API is the only national organization representing physicians of Indian origin in this country. No other group. There can be any other group, but AP is the only one. American Medical Association, ECFMG, everybody recognizes only one body, AP. And that's all we have to say.
Well, congratulations to that, sir. Coming with since 1982, API, since its inception, since 1982, American Associations of Physicians of Indian Origin has grown into this largest ethnic medical society in the United States, which is second in size to the American Medical Association. It has a demographic reach of over 80,000 practicing physicians, 40,000 medical students, residents, and fellows. Tell us a little bit about this progress when you look at back on the 25-year journey of RAPI. And you
Great.
being the president of this year, so how does it make you feel in terms of your leadership and in terms of the growth which API has seen?
Great. Thank you for asking this question. Give me 1 second, I'll close the door.
Sure.
Disturbance is coming. Yeah.
So we were at the 25-year of journey of AAPI, where
Yes,
it holds 120,000 physicians.
yes. So, yes, thank you for asking the question. As you know, we are the largest ethnic medical organization in the United States, and
Yes.
you've given the numbers. That makes us very strong force. The only key word is in this is we have to show our united front. When API started 44 years ago, we didn't have that much of so many people who are Indian origin physicians.
Correct.
It was started because we were discriminated against. It was based on discrimination. I'm very glad to say this today. Indian physicians are not only not discriminated against, patients want to come to Indian physicians. Patients ask their, sorry, I'll repeat that because
Yes,
uh,
that's fine.
I put me on airplane mode. Hang on. Sorry about that. I'll
Oh,
start that again. Okay. Sorry about that. I'll
oh,
start that again. Okay.
yeah, sure.
So thank you for asking that question. Yes, AP, as you rightly pointed out, is the largest ethnic medical organization in the United States, and the largest medical organization after AMA. You gave the numbers. Yes, when we started out, we were a small group. When we started 44 years ago in a small basement in Michigan, we had only a handful of members. We started because we were being discriminated and we wanted to fight discrimination. Right now, it is the other way around. Indian physicians are not only not discriminated, I'm proud to say we are sought after, we are liked. People, patients actually ask their physician, please send me to an Indian doctor. Makes
Mhm.
me swell up with pride because we have made a point, made a stance in healthcare. Do you know we represent only 2% of the population? Indians represent 2% of the US population, but we have 7 to 8% of the physicians and 21% of the health force in the United States. That is huge. So all we need to do is to unify our force. You cannot imagine how much skill we can have in the center. What we need to do is all of us have fortunately done well. Most of us are very, very health. Now is the time to give back. How do we make an impact? How do we bring our voices? For the first time, I've been very lucky this year that the largest medical organization of the United States is AMA, American Medical Association, as you know, right? The
Right.
president of AMA was an Indian physician, Bhubaneswar, whose father was a past president of API. Just imagine how much stars had lined up. And so Bobby and I, shit. Can you turn my phone off? Please turn my phone off completely. Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries.
You know, because I'm going to see how I can turn my Wi-Fi. No, if I turn my Wi-Fi, my Zoom will turn off, so I cannot do that. So I hope you guys can edit these things together, right?
Yes, they can do the editing.
So
Yes.
let me continue. So
Yeah.
we need to unite right now. We have got different problems now. We have problems of J1 visas, which were being denied to our international medical graduates, our medical graduates who have got residency programs here. We have got challenges of H1B visa. Let me tell you about J1 visa. When I took my office, the first day in office, I faced a challenge. The administration had stopped J1 visa, and so a lot of international medical graduates who had got residency programs, residency here, were stuck in India because the J1 was banned. Before I came in June, American Medical Association had made advances and the J1B visa blockade was lifted. Well, guess what? All the J1B visa slots, interview slots, were given to all the surrounding countries, Pakistan, Nepal, China, everyone got their visa slots, interview slots. But 164 of the people, international medical graduates from India, were not getting the interview slots. So we
Wow.
rallied and we tried to actually get the visa slots, and we wrote to U.S. Embassy. A high-ranking Indian Indian person was there in U.S. Embassy. We got through him and through Secretary of State. All the 164 got their visa. That's what we can do now. What we can do now, it's different from what we had initially started for. We for the H-1B visa, hospitals have to pay $1 lakh, $100,000 to get each physician. That would break the healthcare system because in the smaller places, smaller hospitals, the international medical graduates are the workforce behind their hospitalist program and the family practice program. If they don't have that, the system breaks because the American medical graduates do not want to go to smaller cities and practice family medicine and hospitals. So the backbone of those hospitals were international medical graduates. So we wrote a strong letter to Congress, and guess what? We have got two rulings. One very recently that the judge, the Supreme Court overruled the decision or the mandate, the administration's decision to have this $100,000 for H1B visa. That was a great success for us. And actually, I have a press release on that too, where we applauded that ruling. Now, what we had another problem with the J1 visa came back to haunt us again. This time it was different. This time, the J1B people were getting rejected. About 60 to 70% people, or sometimes as high as 80% people, were getting visas rejected. Why? Well, what was surprising that our surrounding countries' visas were not being rejected. So we worked hard with AMB through ECFMG, and I'm pleased to say that all these people whose visas were denied were called back for an interview and given visa. And we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Most of them are getting visa. Why did this happen? Because we told them that if these people don't come, the hospitals, the backbone of the hospitals are these people. You get the cream of the crop when you get people from India for your family practice, primary care doctor, primary care residency programs. But if you look at US graduates, frankly, you get the bottom of the barrel. You get the top of the barrel, go to all the other coveted surgical programs, dermatology, etc. So hospitals actually prefer getting people from India, getting people from international medical graduates because they work hard. They're here to make a living, make a life for themselves.
That's a big achievement and quite a milestone, especially for a young professional aspiring medical students, for helping them secure and giving them a brighter future in the medical facility, in the medical field. Coming to our next question, on your presidential journey, which began in May 2025, what immediate ground did your administration gain regarding immigration reform, expanding federally funded residency slots? What kind of achievement or what kind of growth you've seen in terms of the residency slots?
So, what we always have advocated to increase residency slots, and that's always been there. But I just alluded to what I just now said in the previous thing,
Yeah.
and that answers part of this question. Right now, most of the people who come from India They come here on for they some of them get the coveted residency slots, but most of them get in the door by doing primary care, internal medicine, for example. The advantage of this is that we people from India are so good, and I'm proud to say that they actually impress their program directors so much that after internal medicine, they go to cardiology, interventional cardiology, they go to gastroenterology, whatever program they want to select. So this is the beauty of people coming from India. We are more knowledgeable, more compassionate. Remember the word compassionate. We respect elders. So when we have an elderly patient, we treat them with compassion. And those are the few things which set us apart. And that's why Indian physicians always shine, and they make great friends in the community, and that is how uh, getting into the door, getting in is important. Once you get in, the sky is the limit. But you have to
I
get in the name.
absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Even the brains, our Indians have good brains, and they turn out to be one of the best surgeons and doctors in the medical history. In fact, it's been noted and said that our Indian physicians, one treats around 7 Americans. So that's a big achievement for AAPI doing this, and for our people from Southeast region, from the Indian origin.
That's correct. So every like you pointed out, every 1 in 7 physician in the United States has an Indian doctor.
Correct.
That's the statistics. We have a great again. I again alluded in an earlier comment that the Indian physicians have made their mark so much because of not only because of see there are three things which are important in every physician's thing. You have to be first thing is ability. Ability means how good you are. Right? There's no doubt that physicians are good because we study the cream get to the medical schools as you know in India, right? So so when there's a billion people, billion plus people, very few people get into medical school. Once you get into medical school, whoever come to USA, they even the cream of the cream, right? Now, so
Yes.
ability is great. They know their subject, they know they can do stuff. Second is uh, affability. Affability means how good you interact with the patients, and that's where compassion, that's where respect for elders, that's where those things come in. That's when what else comes in. That you're glad, you're appreciative that America has given us an opportunity to come and help people here. That's third is third is availability. Indian physicians, while our American counterparts, nothing wrong with that. I can ask if the American physician can call it this because she's in med school here. But most of the physicians here, the younger people don't like to want to limit their calls. So that is the reason they want to join big groups and stay in bigger cities. But Indian patients don't mind going to smaller cities where the call coverage may be 1 and 2. So they'll have to be on call 15 days. And that's why the hospitals love them. That's the reason they have that edge over their American counterparts.
So coming to the earlier in Jan of 2026, you had hosted the 19th Global Healthcare Summit in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and where AAPI under your leadership was targeting the critical initiatives like tuberculosis eradication, diabetes, bone marrow registries. What has been the most measurable outcomes, clinical outcomes during this summit, which AAPI has achieved under this presidency?
Fantastic question. Really, Global Health Summit, we do once a year. We do it in the place, usually where the president belongs to. I'm from Odisha. I grew up in Odisha and I did my med school in Odisha. So I took it to Odisha. Odisha is one of the places which the best kept secret in India. So a lot of people have not visited Odisha, so they were keen to go and do Jagannath Darshan and all those things. So our first 3 days, we gave them an overdose of Odisha culture, Odisha tradition, and Odisha heritage and sightseeing places. And after that, we had got 3 days of intense global health summit, which was supported by KIIT and KIMS, Kalinational Medical Sciences, whose founder is Dr. Akshita Samant, a great benevolent humanitarian, and he is going to be also coming to our happy convention this year as one of the chief speakers. So we were there, and they rolled out the red carpet for us. So in turn, what we brought is several things. One is HPV vaccination, human papilloma virus. Right? The human papillomavirus is what causes cervical cancer. And there's a simple vaccination that can prevent that. And we donated some money and vaccinated several students, college students, and people in the community. And that's one thing we started. RP stem cell, the bone marrow, it used to be called bone marrow. Right now it's called stem cell. Why? Previously, we used to take it from the bone marrow. Nowadays, we just take peripheral blood, spin it, and take the stem cells from that. Why is it required? When you have leukemia and when you have bone marrow radiation, your bone marrow cells die. Now you have to implant, you have to put more like a seed. After the forest is all burned down, you put fresh seeds. So these are the fresh seeds you inject into the bone marrow, and that forms the bone. Problem is that, like every transplant, this is very specific, and usually Indians match with Indians. Okay, but problem is that there's a worldwide registry of bone marrow, sorry, stem cell donors, and we have very few Indians in that. Okay, this was a great problem. In fact, one of my friends, who is a physician in Wisconsin, he had to have bone marrow transplant. He couldn't find anybody in the registry. Fortunately, his brother in India matched, and he's living today. Otherwise, his doctor said that there's nothing we can do. You'll get an infection, you'll die. That's how serious it is. Guys, this is a message for everybody to become a, so we actually started this campaign. It started my previous year by the president. He's an oncologist, who is an oncologist, Dr. Katula, Dr. Satish Katula, he started it, and that was championed, taken up by Dr. Shashi Kupala, who was affiliated with Kentucky, and he started it in USA, but USA used to get very few we used to get very few donors. Why? Because we used to go to temples, we used to go to Indian fairs, and we get 10, 15, 20 donors. We said that no, this has to be bigger than that. So we launched it in the Global Summit Day, and in 3 days, we get 500 plus donors. Remember, each of these donors, they don't have to do anything. A button spear just puts them in the registry. When they require, they have to come and donate some blood. That's it, nothing else. And you save a life. You donate some blood and save a life. It's not like blood donation. That blood which is taken from you after spinning, the blood may be given back to you because they only want the stem cells. So I'm going to reach out to you and please ask everyone to join your stem cell donor pool. Apart from that, we started a child initiative where we had AAPI, with the help of Dr. Sunita Polapelli, started a lot of campaigns. We went to orphanages, gave some a lot of other things which I could give, and we've got several other projects which completely goes on at Dr. Village. We do these projects in India to give back to our fatherland.
Amazing. Dr. Chakrabarti, you're coming to the educational advancements. Your journey, your presidency for under AAPI also highlights the student internships, both for US and India, alongside the rollout of K-12 AAPI historical curriculum, which is mandatory in schools this year. So, how have these programs helped in shaping the next generation for healthcare leaders?
So we have started with the help of RP QLI, Queen Long Island, Long Island, and RP have gotten together and we formed what's called RP IMG initiative. Now, though we call it IMG, which is International Medical Graduate, it is also open to medical graduates from here, of course. But it's more difficult for international medical graduates, much easier for people graduating from here. But it is open to everyone. So initially, there are lot of factions for doing this. A lot of people are doing it. What I did, everybody under one umbrella. So now we have got three branches of that. One branch where we match. If a person wants to do observership, observership is very important because if the faculty gives you a good letter of recommendation, chance of being able to raise it is better. So we're got a pool of mentors who are willing to take on these mentees, we call it. It is an automatic process where they apply and they get matched whatever subject they want. They want to do, maybe say biology, they want to do urology, whatever. They get matched to somebody, a mentor who's willing to take them on. So that is one. Second thing is research. We've got a branch under that where people come, do research, and get their names published in a peer-reviewed journal, which also have the right to presidency. And the third aspect is webinars. With the help of Global Association of Indian Medical Students, GAMES, in India, who actually helped us with stem cell, helped us with child care initiative, which I just talked about. Very, very dynamic organization. Uh, it was late last year by Dr. Amisha Kashyap, very dynamic leader, has helped us a lot. That what they did, we do webinars to tell people what to look for, how to prepare for an interview, what are the points which you score, how do you make your CV done, and so on and so forth. In addition to that, you get program directors come and actually do a mock interview, telling them how to appear for the interview. So this is a huge project which will be started this year.
Amazing. Coming to you, I know that you are very much keen on AI technology as well. You have focused on utilizing the AI and technology alongside traditional healing methods to improve the chronic disease care, and which is the exact kind of forward thinking which of leadership which we would love to see, and which we have seen in this past year. So a little bit on that. Where have we reached with this kind of initiative under your leadership?
Fantastic question. We started, AI has always been, I'm a forward thinking person in my own life also. I'm always a captain and I use AI in my practice and my own day-to-day functions. AI is here to stay, like it or not. Okay, so what we need to do is to embrace AI. So what we have done in Global Summit, we had one session, plenary session on AI, and we've taken it to the next level under the leadership of Vikas Khurana. We have got a big platform on Saturday morning when we have got leaders of AI speaking. After that, we also have a booth in the exhibit area where, where people, physicians can sign up for training in AI. A lot of patients may not know how to utilize AI. So there are a bunch of students who are going to be sitting there and teaching the physicians how you can use AI in your day-to-day practice, how AI can improve and help you. So those are a few things which we're doing in addition to making AI a very central theme of our annual convention coming up in Tampa, Florida.
So, are there any kind of programs which we have initiated or initiated this year under AAPI for especially for youngsters, for our youth? Any others which you would like to recommend or which the management is thinking on?
There's a program called Align Program where actually these young medical students have joined together to teach the world uh, anti-obesity methods. Previously, what we used to do is that, okay, diet and exercise. Now they've got five different focus points: meditation, diet, uh, healthy eating, uh, exercise, yoga, maybe all those things are part of a healthy living and obesity. So they also have a booth, have an area in the convention where they're going to be teaching everybody this thing. Plus, along with Align program, they have taken on 100 schools within the next month or two, and API is a co-signing with CAPI, which is Global Association for Origin, and we have signed up to be a part of this project. And initially, we've taken on 100 schools, but we'd go on and go to as many schools as possible, touch 5,000 in the next year or two. So that's another great program which we've started, like I said. And we've started the SIPSEL program that's going on, the SIPSEL donation program. And we've got a lot of other the IMG program, those things will stay on and continue to help people.
Give me 1 second. I'm just putting my thing on charge. Give me 1 second.
Sure. You have a question on the convention, right?
The next one is the federal collaboration. I would ask you on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Coming up, next topic of federal collaboration. What specific federal stakeholders or agencies is AAPI collaborating currently to ensure these matched physicians can legally start their hospital contracts on time?
Again, I've touched on this before, but good thing you brought it up. Basically, we have contacts with Secretary of State through the Council General in each part of the country and through US Embassy in India. So our main aim is that we actually have written white papers and letters to the Congress, but sometimes even if you do that, it is not enough. So what we've done is to encourage our members to reach their congressmen to approach to bring it up. It's a huge thing if you because like I said, Indian physicians are very well liked in many communities. Many congressmen and senators have Indian physicians as their physicians, as personal physicians. So if we ask our senators to bring this important point up, tell them why it's important, we have a memorandum which we actually also submitted through the AAPI and through our different senators and congressmen to be brought up in the sector in Washington, D.C. In addition to that, what we have to do about physicians to tell the patients, especially physicians in rural communities, physicians in semi-urban communities, when patients come and appreciate them, the doc, I'm so glad you're here. Otherwise, I'd have to go 100 miles and 200 miles to have a baby born. That is when you tell them that this may not last that long because of H1 what's coming in. Educate them very quickly. Tell them to call the congressman. When an American, like out here, American, white American calls a congressman saying that, hey, I want this information here. You better take away this scary law of white. So we urge our physicians to patients to do that. So these are the things which actually has made some headway. That's when we got the court ruling that the H-1B visa is illegal and blocked. That visa embargo is illegal. H-1B visa embargo is about $100,000, which everybody had to pay for each of H-1B visa. That was completely something which will affect the healthcare. I mean, that may be a reason why administration did that, and they may have their cause, and it may be them for doing that. But in the long run, back in the long run, it will affect the healthcare of our own citizens in the USA.
Thank you for that information, Dr. Chakrabarti. Coming to the future outlook, the most awaited 44th annual convention in Tampa, where everybody is looking forward to the July 4th weekend at the JW Marriott Tampa Water Street. So what's your vision for the Tampa convention coming up? And what are the headline scientific sessions and CME programs that attendees should be looking forward to?
Well, that is the culmination of every presidency, as you know. And this year, my all my projects have gone great. I'm thankful to Almighty. Thankful my parents must be giving me blessings about going ahead. I've been trying to get to where I am right now for 25 years of my life. And so I wanted this year to be a great year. I have taken time off my work to make this happen. We had a great uh, trip to Patagonia, great trip to China, we had a great global summit, like I told you. We had great, and we, for the first time, we did the Ayurveda retreat in Ukraine. That's amazing that there's an Ayurveda retreat in Maharishi